Hi, this is Charles, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about a variant of Command and Colors Napoleonics that was America versus the Brits in the American Revolutionary War. And I'm in a tournament where I got a chance to play Heberton the other day, which is a fan-made scenario. You can get these fan-made scenarios from the ccnapoleonic.net website and basically play these out. They've got some special rules that for the American player. In this particular scenario, the American player gets 2 cards to start with, but his hand grows by 1 each turn until he gets a full complement of 4 cards. The British player starts with 6, and the Americans have the same rules as the Spanish, except for a few exceptions. They When you shoot against a leader, it's always a LC1 or a 1 die roll against the leader. This represents the Americans' ability to shoot the leaders from the other side as opposed to being honorable gentlemen and not shooting the leader typically. Um, and when they're standing fire, they get a +1. So this was a pretty interesting scenario as it played out. As you can see here, the British player is attacking them. Again, the American player has 2 cards, and the British player goes first. So they have a very good strength of attacking those front units before the game gets started here. So I'm going to play through real quick, and you'll see how, as we play the game here, uh, the British press forward, but as the Americans get their momentum, they start pressing back, and there's some pretty fluent line changes through the game as far as how the feel of the front line of battle goes back and forth. My front line pressed in hard and fast, but the standing fire of the American player really drilled down on my units being trapped there in the center. And I ended up having to retreat my units from the center to the back, kind of making a circle around them and trying to flank them from the sides. The American player ended up winning the game after all, but it was a very close battle all the way to the very end. So you see some weakness on the left-hand side of the American player. That artillery that he has was very effective during the game. I mean, keeping the right side in check. The brook that is up on the top right slowed down the rifles from crossing into the forest area there, but they're very weak. They need to be range fire units, and one of the problems that I had there was getting those guys to be ranged fire. They have a nice range on them of 3, which is very unusual in the Napoleonic type game. But in this particular scenario, I had to use them in melee, which is very deadly against the unit for the rifles. We'll speed it up a little bit here. American player pressing forward, getting to the cover of that forest. And the standing fire is what he's really shooting for as far as getting my units within his range. But we kind of got into a standoff in the middle, which was good for me because, as you can see, I've got 2 very weak units in the middle and the back. Killed the rifle there. The Americans are moving up on the right-hand side. The Grenadiers come up. They try to do some damage. They are stuck in the woods, so they can't fire out as they move in. I was very fortunate that when I moved in there, I had a first attack card. So he'll come to attack me, and I'll be able to defend myself pretty well. He's up a hill, so I'll take a negative modifier for that. There's the first strike. Pushing the Americans back, drilling that right side, and going for the first kill for the British player. At this point, the British player, or the American player's got two rifles and a leader. We had that one grenadier all the way to the front line, and the American player played a short supply, which pushed him all the way back. Which those two grenadiers being on the American player's left-hand side, coming around that side there, could have really done some good work as far as devastating his line there. So American player with a fire and hold, which gives them a +1 for the American player's benefit, and also a +1 for the card. And that was pretty devastating. But if you look at those three units, all these units being through here, very tough to fight against that fighting line formation. With this benefit of standing fire. Now once we got them on the move, it was a little easier. And the British player was trying to keep that distance from them, so when they moved up, they would have the disadvantage of the movement negative modifier. And then the British player would be able to stand and fire. All right, another first strike there, the Grenadiers pummeling the American line. So the British on the right-hand side being a little aggressive, rushing the artillery, trying to take it out. They were sitting ducks, just sitting out there waiting to be attacked, so they went ahead and tried to attack. Did not work out so well. British player with an elan. Reshuffle on the deck. Grenadiers coming in again, doing some serious damage. I really like the Grenadiers. They're a lot of fun to play. Very strong. So the British player does not have any artillery or any cavalry. So any type of cavalry card or bombard card you get are pretty much stuck in your hand. But the scenario balanced out really well. I was really, you can see it's still a close game. It's 5-5 at this point. British player coming in for the kill on that last Grenadier on the left, giving them their 7th victory point for the game, and that's the win. So just wanted to show you the flow of how it went back and forth. I really enjoyed this scenario. I've got, I think, 6 more games of this to play, but I was really impressed at how well the mechanics worked for the Americans versus the British, and I'm looking forward to playing more of them. I'm not sure why this game even felt more like Napoleonics than the actual Napoleonics game, but I felt a lot more movement in this particular scenario. And I guess it was because the British player is encouraged to be aggressive, the American player is encouraged to stand and fire, and that me pushing forward was good at first, but initially, I got to the point where I was reduced and I had to push back. So there was lots of movement. Really, really cool how each field of battle felt really important in this game. And I was able to use all my cards effectively. I never really felt stagnated in a particular section except for the artillery and the cavalry cards. And I hope you get a chance to try the scenario out. Just go to ccnapoleonics.net and give it a shot. And you can use the VASA module to do this. You can use your Spanish units to facilitate this game. And there's nothing else really required in order to play this scenario with the American rules. Take care.